If I told you you could make over £3,500 in 1 month by reselling, watch this video because today I'm going to tell you how I made £3,800 in 1 month in sales selling on eBay. Hello people and welcome back to another video. I am John, I am an eBay reseller, but I also sell on Vinted, but this is all to do about eBay, and I'm telling you how you can make serious cash in selling on eBay as a reseller. I'm from the UK, so I'm a UK eBay reseller, and today I'm going to tell you the tricks and the trades to make serious money through eBay and earn over £3,500 in one single month. So I'm quite new on eBay. This is my first year properly selling as a UK eBay reseller, and every month my sales seem to increase and increase and increase. And I want to tell you the tricks and the trades of how to make so much money on eBay by just basically buying old people's unwanted junk, because that is what it is. Basically, I am no pro. I am not a professional reseller in a certain area. I'm not a professional in clothing, in toys, in vintage stuff, in antiques. I have just learned from researching products and being out in the field, basically learning every single week what sells, what doesn't sell, what's worth buying, what's not worth buying, how much do you buy things for, when is the limit not to buy, how much do you spend in a week, in a month, in even a day. Is there a certain technique you need to learn to sell so much? How do you sell stuff on eBay? Basically today I'm going to tell you the lowdown on everything. This video is going to make you serious money, and if it doesn't, you can comment down below, say whatever you want and say you don't know nothing, because trust me, if you listen to this video all the way through, I guarantee in 6 months time you'll be earning over £3,000 a month in sales on eBay. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm not going to go through a big bullet point thing and tell you this, that, this, because I don't want to bore you with loads of information which basically you might take in some and forget others. The first thing you need to do is you need to have a basic amount of money to start off. If you're starting off with no money, making a lot of money is not going to work. I started off, I sold my old car, I had a lot of money, not that much, but I had a few £1,000s. I went into pallets. It wasn't working out in the cost for what you get, and you're risking if it's not going to be working. So I scrapped that off and I became a reseller in January. The reason why is because I saw other people doing it and I thought I could do that and I could do it better. Reason being is I've worked in retail for over 4 years, and also I have a knack of finding good stuff. So when you're thinking about doing reselling, is see if you've got any expertise in anything. If you worked in clothing, if you worked in a toy shop, if you worked in any sort of retail, because that will actually help you in the long run when you're trying to search for things, because you know how much they actually cost in the shop when you work there, or what is desirable because it's a hot seller. And if you see that on a car boot or charity shop, you know that could sell for potential a lot of money. So you're probably thinking, well, you're just saying this, you're probably just making it up. I'm not. Last month was my biggest ever sales on eBay, and this is just eBay. I'm not even including vintage, where I sell a lot of stuff as well. So I've actually made more sales than this. On the screen now, you can see a graph. This is the graph of every single month, and I've highlighted the one which is last month. As you can see, in October, I made £3,856.52 in sales. So I have made that much money on eBay in sales throughout that month. So all of October, that is my money. So as you saw in that picture, I'm not lying. That is my official eBay account, and you've seen how much I made in sales. And you saw the chart where it's gone up and down in some, but roughly I'm making over £2,000 every month in sales. And this, remember, is my first year. You know, I'm still learning. You know, yes, I know some things about other things more than others, but I'm going to tell you how you can make that much money just by doing simple things and listening to what I'm going to say. And by the end of the video, I'm going to tell you 5 items to look out for, and you will make instant money, easy money. It will sell in the same week, if not definitely the week after, and you can go and find these in your next car boot, charity shop, or on Facebook Market, because these will boost your selling confidence up. You'll know these are the things to help you, and you need, honestly, you need to carry on watching this video, because these things that I sell regularly all the time, and that's why this profit is so high. Before I tell you what items I sell, which make me a lot of money, I'm going to show you the next screenshot. This screenshot is of my sales in how many items I sell. Remember, this is the month of October. As you can see, I sold 100 items in total, which to people who are starting out is a lot, but to me, it's been consistently around the 100 mark for many months. I've actually noticed recently that I actually sell less now than I did at the start, and I'm making a lot more money. And this is to do what you buy. And like I said, when I come to the end of the video, you're going to find out the things that I make a lot of money on that people do not know nothing about. Throw away at car boots, and you can get them up for absolutely nothing and make high profit, because that is the way to make a lot of money. You need to make sure that you buy as cheap as possible and then sell as much as possible. Obviously, you can't sell them for stupid prices. You've got to obviously go on eBay sold. I've got another video coming out telling you how to find out how much stuff goes for, but you want to pay minimum. If you can get a great deal on something, like I said, go to car boots and don't just buy one thing on that one store. If you see quite a few things on that store, grab them all and then say, what's the best deal you can do on these? That's how I do it a lot of the time, especially if it's stuff that I really want. It's a good way of saving money and actually getting more profits in the long run. As you can see in the bottom part is actually what items sell the most. And you can see number 1 is books, comics and magazines. Yeah, I'll get back onto that in a minute when I tell you what to buy, because you need to buy these and you don't have to be an expert. Next is obviously computer, tablets and technology, so electrical stuff. Sound and vision is next, which is also to do with electrical. Next is toys and games, which is pretty much obvious what you know that is. At the bottom is clothes, shoes and accessories. As you saw in that chart, number 1 was books, magazines and comics. And books, surprisingly, do sell for quite a lot of money. I'm not a book person, so books is not in my categories. Magazines is not in my category, but comics is. You can make some serious money out of comics. I've recently sold a comic for £80. I also sold another comic for £100, and I paid £10 for that at a vinyl and comic dealer. You can really make some serious money off these. The next in the chart I'm going to put together, number 2 and 3, was all electronical, sound and vision. This is stuff that is so this is like a gold mine for me. Every time I go to a car boot, I always find these things, because no one wants them. They're old tech and people think they're worthless. And I'm talking about VHSs. You need to pick up these VHSs. Yes, the old VHSs with where you put the tape in, because they are worth a lot of money. Some are worth more than others, depending on obviously the company who made them. Obviously, if you can get a Sony, a Philips, a Toshiba, something in that category, they're going to be worth a lot more, because they are desirable. People are now like wanting to reminisce on old VHS tapes, and of course, to play these things, people also like buying retro TVs, not just for the VHSs, but also for gaming. Retro gaming is huge. That's why you see a lot of people trying to pick up Game Boys and old Nintendos because it's expensive and hard to find now. Finding one of these consoles like a NES boxed, you're looking around the £200 mark if you can, if you can find one. I recently went to an auction and a turquoise see-through Nintendo 64 sold for £180 in auction because it was boxed. So if you can find something like that for like 20-30 quid on a car boot, that or on Facebook Market, get it, because it will make you serious money. Also stuff like VHS DVD combos. These are basically where you can convert your VHS into DVDs. They sell for around £50. Like the VHSs, I pick them up for about £2 to £3. Doesn't need to have a remote because they're very hard to find usually at car boots with them. If you do find one with a remote, it's worth even more. But you're looking around the 25 minimum, maybe £30, £40 maximum with a remote. Even pick up the remotes, because the remotes can be worth anything up to £10 to £20 depending on the make. Anything tech-wise makes you money. If you do see any of these and you see them for less than a fiver, pick them up, because if it don't work, it's only a fiver, but most of the time they do work, because back in the day they were very strong. They made everything like a brick and they can test the time. So I have only ever had one VHS out of all the ones I've bought that didn't work. But yeah, they're very, very desirable. Next on the list was toys, and obviously toys do sell. Toys is massive, and it can vary on toys. You can go for vintage toys. I like picking up vintage toys because they sell for more. I've made like over £200 on a vintage 1970s robot. I've made £70 on a Sesame Street rare edition of a Beaker, the one with the ginger hair. I've made £30-40 on a retro Sonic plush toy, which was the original from Sega. And the list goes on. I have made so much money from toys. Games, like vintage board games. A very good one to pick up is a Scrabble Deluxe, because it's like the posh version of Scrabble. You're looking around £40 if you sell that. If you can pick up it for a fiver, you're going to make mega money. Even old-fashioned board games, the ones that are very popular, don't usually sell. So for instance, if you've got Monopoly, the original Monopoly one is pointless buying. But if you can find a limited edition one, or a collab with a certain cartoon or series, like so for instance a Star Wars one or a Family Guy one, or even like cities, they're very popular. I picked up a Middlesbrough one, which is not a very well-known place really. It's not a desirable place to go to, but I sold that for £30 and I picked it up for like £3, something like that. Worth getting, but do make sure if you do buy board games that all the pieces are there. That can seriously destroy your profit if some of the pieces are missing. Finally, obviously, is clothing. Clothing for me is hit and miss. As you probably see on YouTube, most resellers sell clothing. Reason being, it's easy. You don't have to package anything. It's very easy to send away. It's very easy to store. But it does hang around. And also, you have got major competition with everybody else. Some people out there will know their stuff about clothing. Other people won't. Some people will leave clothing because it's not worth it. So for instance, you'll probably see a Ralph Lauren top and be like, oh, it's Ralph Lauren. Not worth anything, because most of the time they only sell for about £20, and because it's Ralph Lauren, charity shops put it up to about £8. So you're not making no profit at all. Clothing is, like, I would say, seasonal. If you've worked in a clothing shop, you're going to have a lot more experience on this. Trainers as well, unless you get the right sort of trainers. So for instance, Nike Air Force Ones always sell well. They're expensive to buy, they sell quite quickly, and you can make a good profit of them. So mainly I stick with sportswear because I find it easier to find, and it's easier to research. I wear a lot of sports clothes, so I know roughly how much they would cost to be, when they're brand new in the shops. And also you can research. There's no point going out there trying to find a Chanel bag and a Louis Vuitton thing, because how many times have you seen one of them? I would say if you want to go and do that stuff, you need to go to them shops and maybe research on that more. But 9 times out of 10 you're never going to find one. If you're just trying to niche down to a certain market like that, you're going to find it very, very hard to actually make money, because depending on where you live, also a lot of it's fake. But with sports clothes, I tend to find a lot more. Like for instance, I picked up a load of Aston Villa shirts, paid £5 each for them, and I've only got 3 left now, and I've all sold them for £30 and a couple for £35. So I am well into profit with that, and I still got some left to sell. So stuff like that is quite easy to sell, and you get it and it's gone within a few weeks. Same with like expensive clothing. So for instance, we all know how much a tracksuit, like a Nike tracksuit, is to buy in Sports Direct, in a JD. You're looking at like £70–80 for a tracksuit, if more. So if you can find a full tracksuit, I picked up for instance, a Luke tracksuit probably about 4 months ago. Nice cream one, really nice. I was going to keep it myself, and they retail for like £100 plus. I sold it for about £60, and I think I picked it up for £10. So it's worth risking it sometimes on some of the clothing if you know it can sell. But like I say, with clothing, it can be hit and miss. I have got a lot of clothing still which is just lagging around, and it's good stuff like Paul Smith, Ralph Lauren, Diesel. I've got plenty of trainers which are just lagging around, because you got to remember, clothing is particular. People might not want it because of the colour, it might be the wrong size, and then it's stuck. So if you are going to buy clothing, I will always go, especially men's clothing, I would always go large and above. Footwear for men, 9 and above. With women, don't buy small sizes. I've got a Ralph Lauren leather coat and it's absolutely lovely, and I've still got it. I bought it like at the start of my reselling career, and I still got it. It's probably worth about £70–80, and I cannot shift it because it's size 8. And there is more people nowadays, women wise, who are like 12 plus. So the bigger, I would say, the better. And you should know that when you go into sales, usually the small sizes never sell, because nowadays everybody is a lot bigger. Men are bigger, women are bigger, and yeah, it's just the way it is. And also people like a bigger fit as well. It's a fashion nowadays having wider, baggier clothes, and yeah, so that's why clothing for me is a hit and miss. But if you find the right items, it always sells. Like I said, there is a second part to this video which is all about the actual profit in sales, and it's quite a controversial one, so you need to watch that one, because I don't like people who have done like videos similar to this but always show this thing that's up here now of their 90-day total, because even though my total is that, it doesn't mean I've actually made that much money. So you need to watch the next video to find out why, and also not to believe people who never show their true profits, because maybe there's a reason why they're not, and you'll find out in the next video. So hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, obviously hit that thumbs up, and remember, if you are new, to subscribe. Goodbye.